Well, good evening, everyone. This is Alvie from Just Alvie News. Want to give y'all some breaking news in the Christy Halpine case, who was charged with trafficking of persons and internet stalking of a child and some other charges last year. I'll give you guys a few seconds to log on. While you're waiting, click a care reaction on this. And then when you're done, don't forget to hit share. Hope everybody has a good day. It's been a huge news day. Just to give y'all a heads up, I'll probably end up doing 3 short videos because each one's kind of important. That way we can address it all. I mean, the news just keeps happening today. When you do come on, say hi down in the comments. I see you guys are starting to come on right now. Man, I should have got some water before I got home. I got some hot Monster. That's not going to be good. All right, guys, I will go ahead and get started. So last year we started covering a case involving 41-year-old Christy Halpine. She worked locally for a long time. I'll show you her face right here. That's Christy right there. What's up, Karen? You guys are really popping on now. Now, she was back in court yesterday, and they did reach a plea deal, but I want to kind of go over the story for you in case you didn't know it. In February of last year, Christy Halpine and 32-year-old Terry Smith was charged with trafficking of persons, internet stalking of a child. And Christy was also charged with consenting to the use of a sexual performance of a minor regarding the 14-year-old. Well, in court yesterday, Halpine reached a plea agreement for endangering the welfare of a minor, which is still a Class D felony. What's up, Sherry? But I'll also tell you this, she got 72 months in the Community Corrections Center, 60 days in jail, 26 days credit given to her. We'll have to pay a $500 fine, $150 for court costs, $150 for public defender, $40 jail booking fee, a cost of the DNA test plus $250, and she also received over 40 hours of community service. But here's the kicker. The video, as far as the shooting and the fight, those will be 2 separate videos that we'll do. We're going to stick right to this update right now, Terry. So we'll be back on in just a few minutes with a shooting update. I actually spoke to the gentleman that witnessed the shooting. So if you're not familiar with this case, I'm kind of upset that she only got endangering the welfare of a minor, because what had happened on February 16th of last year, Saline County Sheriff's deputy was sent out to a domestic disturbance call out on McPherson Ridge over by Sardis. Once they got there, they stated a physical altercation had happened between Christy and her husband Larry earlier that morning, and we actually reported on it that morning that someone was being transported to a hospital due to domestics because of a head wound. By the end of the day, we had just found out that it was in fact Christy who had been transported to the hospital for a head wound in a total different county. So my deputies were out at the address on McPherson. The husband, Larry, explained that he found messages in his wife's cell phone which referred to the sexual exploitation of their 14-year-old daughter with an adult male. We know now that adult male was Terry Smith. The Saline County Sheriff's Office was shown several messages by Larry. The messages observed were between Christy Halpine and Terry Smith. They had messages containing various conversations in reference to Halpine's 14-year-old daughter. One being, Smith will need to see her panties and what they smell. By the way, some people might find this sensitive. Smith wanted to see her panties and what they smelled like. Another message asked if her daughter was shaved and what her vagina looked like. There was photographs of the panties were seen in the messages, along with interest being expressed in a threesome with this adult male, Terry Smith, Christy Halpine, and their 14-year-old daughter. There were several texts that contained nude pictures of Smith being sent to this phone. There were also many, according to the police report, there were many conversations of money in exchange for sexual favors and for pictures. Christy would include her 14-year-old daughter. In one of the messages, Smith had asked her to pick one of her juvenile daughters. And Christy stated that the 14-year-old and he had asked, "Is that the one you brought over before?" Smith asked for multiple pictures of the daughter, and Smith texted them. Now, I want you to understand the story I just read you. Now go back up when I say, so on Monday, Christy Halpine was sentenced in Saline County for a plea arraignment for just endangering the welfare of a minor. You heard everything that was going on there. And she received 72 months in the Community Correction Center, which got me to go back to look at Terry's sentence. So back in September, this is sick. Back in September of last year is when Terry Smith actually went to court, and he made a plea arrangement also. They plea out the pervs. Smith was sentenced to 72 months in the Arkansas Department of Corrections, as well as a consecutive term of 48 months of a suspended sentence for internet stalking of a child and arranging a meeting with a parent or guardian with a minor. And he's currently in the Arkansas Department of Corrections. So he didn't even get the full charges. Remember, what I was telling you was on the phone is what was included in the actual affidavit that the deputy from Saline County actually seen. So they both got plea deals. Terry had been in other legal troubles before. I knew Christy when the story came out. It was an absolute shock to me. I'm shocked to see her plead to this. So this is one of the problems with our criminal justice systems. Because y'all need to remember, community corrections is not like, it's a form of prison, but not like prison. It's not the Arkansas Department of Corrections. It's more of like a halfway kind of place. You're still locked in there all the time. And when I looked into where Terry Smith had been sent to jail, down in Pine Bluff, but the unit he got sent to used to be the Jefferson County Jail. They actually house inmate offenders within that same jail that he's assigned to. Now, they won't interact. Angelina said she did it, lived with her and Larry in my 20s, and I moved back out because he was selling his wife for sex. There's a lot of that story more going on. So they even have the Paw Patrol division where he has been sent down in Pine Bluff. Oddly enough, he didn't have to pay a fine or all the fees that Christy did on hers. It is a case that I've been following, so I wanted to give you guys an update on that. That's what I said. Each one of these stories deserve their own individual story, but at least they're off the streets for at least 72 months. They'll have to spend quite a bit of that time in there, and Christy might be eligible to get out early depending on her behavior, and that's kind of how community corrections work. Certain people walk everywhere. Jason says, I hope when inmates take care of women, child sex offenders like the men do. I'm not sure how that works, Jason. I've never been to a women's prison. Not long. I don't think it's long enough either. No real justice in Saline County. They pled them out. That's what. I don't know what they needed to have But if they have all these texts that the deputy said they used, it should have been a pretty easy conviction, but they pled them out before court. As it got closer to trial, they pled them out. I see this a lot. I see them pleading cases out at the last minute. That last 30 days when they're basically all out of extension is when it hits. Jason says it's all about the Benjamins. Terry says we have a horrible prosecutor. Jason, I got to be honest with you. That's what I thought of when I seen the fine that Christy paid and fees. They're fees, you know, fined and fees. If you think about it, it's like, wow, that had a $1,200 value on it. If we really want to stop sex trafficking of our kids, maybe the sentences need a little bit more rough. Maybe they need to be the same as somebody that gets sentenced for using drugs or selling drugs. Not to mention what her lawyer charged. Well, actually, Christy had to pay $150 for a public defender fee as well, Jason. So she had a public defender. I didn't see that fee on Terry's sentencing report or any of his court papers. This is the part of our justice system that don't make sense. When I tell you we lock people up for victimless crimes, and then we let out pretty easy those who haven't. Are they reporting for sexual offender list? Yes, they both will be required to be on the sexual offender list. They absolutely will. And that's a good thing. Terry goes, that is why it's so bad, because they don't give them any time. They don't. They get out a lot. And the truth is, once chomos, which is what they're referred to in prison, once chomos are in there, they're protected. So it takes shady detention center and prison employees, and they're out there too, to turn their back to let prison justice happen. So disappointed in the sentence that she got, even though it is lengthy. Jay said, I feel sorry for Christy's identical twin. Didn't even know she had one, Jason. Like, I've known Christy and I've known Larry, and their relationship has always been rocky. So that morning when I heard on the scanner she was on her way to the hospital, in my mind, I assumed Larry had assaulted her, got mad, got drunk, and did it. And then later that day I'd spoken to him, and he had told me the story that I still felt kind of like it was hard to believe. And once I started getting the information back, I was like, wow, Larry was actually taking the truth. Yeah, Wendy, I was shocked. I was shocked. They used to come over to my store. I've known her and her daughter, Larry, for a very, very long time. All right, so that's going to be the end of story number 1. Like I said, everything. Can we recap late in the show? Yeah, Shelly, I'll do it one more time, and here's how I'm going to do it. Like, I am going to do 3 short videos of the big stories, and a little bit later tonight we'll do 1 long session up here. Christy Halpine, I'll show you one more time. That's her right here. She reached a plea agreement yesterday for endangering the welfare of a minor. She was originally charged with trafficking of persons, internet stalking of a child, and consenting to the use of sexual performance of a minor. All that was dropped, and she pled to endangering the welfare of a minor. I'm curious to see if she was actually going to testify against Harry Smith, the other person involved, who also took a plea agreement which cut his charges down as well last September. So they got a little bit of a break. Actually, I think they got a whole heck of a break not to have all those other charges on there. All right. y'all keep in mind, say a prayer for them because they're mentally has some issues there, and definitely pray for Larry and Christy's 14-year-old daughter. Of course, she's 15 now. There's going to be mental issues for a very long time with that, and they definitely need our prayers. I'm going to get off here for right now. I'll be back on just a few minutes. We're going to roll into story number 2, which will be the shooting out this morning in Landmark. So till then, this is Alvie from Just Alvie News, asking you to hit that share key. If you'd like to support the page, become a page supporter, get your green badge. It's just $4.99 a month. You can click that button down below, or you can go to the main page where it says subscribe. You can cancel any time you want. You can also make donations to Cash App, $ Star Wars Geek 69. Even $1 helps. And if you are a business, we are taking a limited number of advertisings. Best price around. You can go to alwaysmakegoodchoices.com/advertising as well and get the info there. And you also buy shirts from the Always Make Good Choices website. All right, this is Alvie from Just Alvie News. I'll see you in a few minutes with our next story, reminding you to always make good choices.